As long as sergers have been available, they've been confusing. My mission in this video is to try to help you understand how valuable two-thread capability can be on a serger. If I am looking for a serger, I would want one that I could serge with just two threads. I'll explain that in a moment. You can see that there are 4 threads on this serger, and I have threaded them up with thread corresponding to the color of the guides on this good old Elna serger. This belonged to my mom years and years ago. Most often when people overcast edges just to finish off the seam, they'll use at least 3 threads. Sometimes they use 4. I say right off the bat that 4 threads is silly. You can either use the left needle or the right needle. Obviously the left needle for a wider stitch, the right needle for a narrower stitch. On this one right here, I can tell just by how wide it is that I have used the left needle. So this pink here is the left needle, the orange is the upper looper, throwing the thread on the top, and the green is the lower looper, throwing the thread on the bottom. What this sample was showing was how to adjust tension. Right here, the orange is too tight, the green is too loose. But if I am on a lighter weight fabric, or if I just don't have 3 threads that match, I could choose to do 2-thread serging, in which case I would just have 1 needle and 1 looper. Let me show you how that's done. You need to have something that plugs up the upper looper. The upper looper becomes quiet. It's not really working. It's not threaded. So the first thing I'm going to do is to cut my upper looper thread. I'm also going to get rid of, in this case, my right needle. One great thing on this machine is that I can make this needle area come up. Much easier to put in the needles and everything. I'm going to take out the rightmost needle. The needles on this serger are the EL705 needles, developed by Elna. That's what the EL stands for, which was my understanding. Whether that's true or not, I'm not real sure, but that's what I was told. Elna put a lot of time and research development money into sergers back in the 90s. All right, so I've cut, and I'm not using my right thread. I'm just using the left thread in the left needle. And I am going to now put that back into place, and I'm going to install the upper looper adapter. So I'm going to pull out the orange thread, which is the upper looper. I'm going to plug him up. Sometimes this adapter just stays there and slides in and out. What I want to show you is an overcast 2 stitch, and this little card that comes with this machine that hangs right over here like this is just super. What it tells me to do is to use the right needle, which I then am setting the tension dial at 0.5, and to use the lower looper, which I've set at 6. It tells me to set the stitch length at 2, the differential feed at 1, to use the right needle, which I've done, to set the cutting width at 3.75, and I can see that over here, to have the upper looper adapter on, and to have the stitch finger up. See how it tells me everything? I would also know that in my brain because I've done this so often. Let's see what I get with those settings on this heavyweight fabric. Looking very closely then at the left sample where it says 2-thread narrow, do you see that the needle thread tension is set at 0.5? That's very loose. So there's next to no tug on the red needle thread. If you look there by the pin on the reverse side, you can see what's happened, and that is that the red needle thread gets pulled through the fabric and out to the edge where it interacts with the green lower looper, which now has been lifted to the top by that two-thread adapter. So what you're used to seeing as the lower looper thread, the green one in this case, is now looking like the upper thread. And what you're used to seeing as the lower looper is now actually the needle thread that has very little tension on it. Now, what I just explained is how it works. It doesn't matter if you're using the right needle for a narrower stitch or the left needle for a wider stitch. I hope that's clear. So I hope you see how wonderful two-thread capability can be. And if two-thread narrow or wide weren't wonderful enough, especially so you can use less thread and put less bulk in a seam allowance, two-thread rolled hem is even better. In a three-thread rolled hem, you are tightening the lower looper so tight that you don't even see it, and it's the upper looper that's wrapping the edge. In a two-thread rolled hem, it is the lower looper which actually wraps the edge. If you look real close at this sample, you can see that that's the case. It is the green lower looper thread which is being lifted by that two-thread adapter stuck onto the upper looper that is wrapping the edge. And it really just looks gorgeous, especially if you use woolly nylon or extra woolly nylon in that lower looper. This works like a charm. So give it a try. If you are in the market then for a new serger, be sure to look for the capability of two-thread. Myself, I use that capability far more than I do the cover hem on a serger sitting right here at my main station. So have fun with that. Two-thread serging.